This is the Body Fuel Performance and Lifestyle Nutrition Podcast. We're here to help you navigate all things nutrition, especially for sports performance, weight loss, and healthy eating. I'm your host, Andrew Dole, registered dietitian, certified executive chef, and USA triathlon coach. Here we go. Revisiting the OMAD, or 1 meal a day diet, we're going to talk about how it can help, how it can hurt, and where it fits into the intermittent fasting craze. And then we tackle belly fat food lies. Are there foods that can help you lose belly fat? Will it melt and blast away that yucky crap around your waist? I don't know. In this episode, we're going to talk about it. I am revisiting the OMAD, or 1 meal a day diet, not because I'm changing my stance on how it works or what I believe about it, but because in my original video, I oversimplified some of my explanations and trying to keep it simple, stupid, trying not to be overly scientific and bore everyone to death. Sometimes that's the hard part about being a dietitian or a healthcare professional in this space is, one, to not give medical advice, 2, to provide you enough evidence to make decisions on your own, and 3, keep it in a format that's not too long and not a college lecture. So in doing so, some points can be missed, and I wanted to revisit that. In this video, I'm revisiting hormone control and circadian rhythm as part of OMAD diet and where this could work. That's the biggest change. I'm also going to discuss the negatives. And why am I focusing on the negatives? Because in all of the hype on the internet, that gets lost. The cautionary component of where people who have disease states or are on medications just can't jump into this diet. There are concerns and things you need to look at. So if you're a relatively healthy individual and you have no problems, sweet. Listen as far as you want, jump into it. It might not be a health risk for you at all, but for everyone else, take a few minutes and at least make an informed decision. So here we go. So what is the 1 meal a day diet? It is eating 1 hour out of the day, 1 meal to try to get all of your nutrition, and not eating for 23 hours out of the day. It's part of the intermittent fasting philosophy, and I think it has benefits, and I think it also has some major concerns. One reason to not try this diet is because our ancient ancestors did it. There are some things on the internet that kind of give the indication that you might want to do this because they didn't eat breakfast in the past, and that's just simply not true. Breaking fast is over 2,000 years old, so let's just stop that conversation there and say if you want to try this diet, don't do it because of that. It's baloney. If you do want to do it, let's talk about who, why, and what's good about it. Forced caloric restriction, absolutely. Yes, if you reduce your calories, you're going to lose weight. We see this all over in countries where they don't simply get enough food. It's going to happen. It will happen here too. The United States does not somehow defy physics. It doesn't work that way. However, caloric restriction does have some metabolic issues and some weight gain and some insulin issues that can promote weight gain, stump weight loss at a certain when food is available. So caloric restriction is a component of this in the sense that if you're an American, you most likely are going to wake up in the morning and eat, and you're going to eat until you go to bed because we're bored, because food is accessible, because there's tons of yummy stuff to eat. Yes, you're going to do it. And if you're sitting back going, no, I don't, well, then you don't have a problem, and that's amazing. I do. I'm 140 something to 150 pounds any given time of the year for race season. I have that problem. A lot of people do. We just hand to mouth all day. We've also been told that eating all day is something we should do to control blood sugar. Completely wrong. So between bad information that persists and having access to food and being bored all the time and not being a lot active, yeah, caloric restriction is necessary. And then we have the hormone and circadian rhythm component. And this is going to be another podcast all by itself, another vlog. It's incredibly important to understand. It's a little too long for this particular OMAD diet version, but on the balance of caloric restriction, how not eating impacts insulin, liberating fat, and actually impacts sleep cycles and circadian rhythms. there is science there to support that this is beneficial for weight loss and beneficial for hormone control that are often out of whack in the presence of diabetes type 2 or other metabolic syndrome issues. So I think that is important to note, and it'd be a reason to try it. But it's not without risk, and not everyone can do this. And this is where I'm trying to balance out all of the hoorah, hoorah on the internet from people who really don't have any healthcare or medical background, are you generally healthy with no issues and want to save the world. I'm with you. I want to save the world too, but I do it with a medical background and I try to be safer about it for people who have risk factors. And that's why I do focus on the negatives in some of my videos, because it is important that people who are on meds pay attention to this. Because there are risks. People who have disease states, there is a risk. Electrolytes and hydration, even if you are healthy, it's a risk. Like if you're not eating for 23 hours out of the day, you're not getting electrolytes and sodium throughout that day. You may have eaten whatever you wanted. Yeah, okay. Did you get enough sodium? I don't know. Are you drinking too much water and becoming hyponatremic? Quite possibly. So we do have to balance our hydration intake and our sodium intake during this fasting period. It needs to pay attention. Are you getting headaches? Like that's a sure sign. That's not just low blood sugar. It might not be low blood sugar at all. Our body does a pretty good job of managing that if we're not diabetic. Asterisk. Be very careful if you are. Binge eating, it's a learned habit. You learn it from this type of eating. Like that one meal a day needs to be relatively large to get in all of the nutrients you need. So if you don't stick with one meal a day and you've cultivated eating a large meal, I think that's going to stick with you. That's a personal fear. I counsel people all day. I see it. It's a problem. So I'm listing it. Nutrient deficiency. Yeah. Okay. Can you really get what you need by eating one meal a day? Yeah, you can get enough calories for sure. Like we can eat a ton of crap or tons of food really that are high calorie. We do it all day anyway, but like, is it the right stuff? Or are you getting enough fruits and vegetables to get enough fiber? Are you getting enough micronutrients, enough colorful phytochemicals? Are you getting enough protein? And even if you do get enough protein, are you getting it all in and your body's not using it? Male, female gender makes a difference on how they can utilize protein. Women can't use large bolus amounts like a man. They need more frequently throughout the day. A man, depending on their age, below 35 and 40, 20, 25 grams does the trick for max muscle synthesis. But over 40, we need a little bit more to turn on that switch. But even so, 25 to 40 is not 60 or 80. Like maybe you need 0.8 to 1.2 if you're not an endurance athlete or an athlete doing CrossFit even or adventure racing. So like even if we try to eat on the low end of protein, yeah, maybe we could get it all in at one time, but I still don't think it's enough. I think you're going to take in way more protein than your body can use, or you're not going to get enough for the whole day. That's what I think. And the eat whatever you want mentality behind this diet, that's kind of how it's built. Hey, you only get to eat one time a day, so eat whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You won't gain weight. That sounds pretty awesome because I could hammer down some pizzas, some donuts, some M&Ms, you name it, peanut M&Ms specifically. Because if I'm going to eat one time out of the day, it needs to be some high value good stuff, right? Because I feel like I'm going to suffer the other 23 hours. Now, I'm a dietitian, and that's how I'm thinking. Would I eat really healthy fruits and vegetables, make sure I'm getting all the fiber that I need, getting all the minerals from wide color fruits and vegetables? Could I even eat that many produce, fruits and vegetables and not be full? Like, I don't know. Like, if you have a choice of eating whatever it is that you want versus eating really healthy to ensure you're getting all of the nutrients you need in one meal, that's tough. We can't get people to eat enough fruits and vegetables as it is when they can eat all day long, much less to try to get it to force into one day or one meal in one day. I don't see it. I think that's a risk. That's why I'm listing it. So is the OMAD diet dangerous? Yeah, it can be. If you're perfectly healthy and you have no issues with medications or underlying disease states, you probably have nothing to worry about. Probably don't want to keep listening to this. Skip on to the belly fat food lies. But if you are curious about how this matters, or if you have someone in your family who wants to try this, let's talk about it, because medications like insulin and insulin sensitivity drugs are not meant for one meal a day type diets. That 24-hour long-lasting insulin is going to reduce your blood sugar and cause serious hypoglycemia. And best case scenario, you pass out, faint, really dizzy, can't pay attention, you get in a car accident, and you don't get injured. Worst case scenario, you injure somebody else. So yeah, it can make a huge difference if you're on OMAD. What about blood pressure medications and diuretics? Yes, eating one meal a day will make a difference. Can you manage this diet while on that? Yes, because ironically, those individuals who are overweight with metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, could probably benefit from this a type of fasting for all of the benefits we talked about earlier. But collaboratively, your pharmacist should be involved. Your primary care or your specialist provider should be involved. A dietitian to help you manage their information in the context of your diet should be involved. Don't do it on your own. Don't do it because somebody on the internet said it's great. Even my video cast. I am a healthcare professional. This is not healthcare advice to go out and do. I'm advising you to go talk to your primary care. Go talk to your doctor. Go talk to your pharmacist. Make sure that you are getting the help you need to manage this. Some drugs are built and designed to be administered with food, because if they're not, the dosage your doctor or provider gave you is probably based upon that you ate. And if you didn't and on an empty stomach, the effects of that medication could be heightened. That's bad. That's like taking more medication than you should have. Side effects can be increased, like taking on an empty stomach can make some of those negative impacts of this drug that you need really rear their head. So we have to take into consideration the drugs, how they're meant to be used, the dosage, when they're implemented, and take that in context of your diet and your food, your carbohydrate intake, your blood sugar control, your hydration. It's a big deal. So yes, OMAD can be dangerous if you do it on your own and without some healthcare professional guidance. So seek it out. So is this all bad? No. Look, if you're a healthy individual and you don't like to eat and eating's a pain in the ass and it's just something you have to do and you want to focus all your efforts in being right the first time, then when we go back to this first slide here, okay, man, you get one chance to do it right, put all your energies into it and get it done. Awesome. Right? If you want to do this, okay, there's a billionaire entrepreneur who does it and it's just fine. It's just not for everybody. And non-healthcare professionals who don't have a background in collaborating with other care providers can really cause danger to individuals by trying to get them to do this diet. An individual can cause harm to themselves by following this type of diet, by watching the internet without collaborating with their doctor. The purpose is to be informed, make a decision, and do it safely. If you want to try it and you're healthy, right on. If you're overweight, obese, have metabolic disease, and you want to try that, right on. But get help to do it. I'm all about you bettering yourself. Just do it safely. So let's talk about something a little less serious. And that is all of the nonsense behind belly fat diet foods that will burn belly fat. It ain't going to happen. It isn't going to happen. It won't happen. They don't exist. If you don't like that, just stop watching because it's not going to get any better. But I will talk about some things that do work after I'm done ranting about this nonsense on the internet. All right, so here's the nonsense. You don't have to go any further than a Google search. It's here. CBS News, 8 delicious foods that help fight belly fat. I don't even want to go any further. But I'm going to scroll down just so you can see all the nonsense that's there. 5 foods that banish belly fat. Health.com. No, it's everywhere. It's even in respectable publications. Like, stop. It's not. Okay, I'm done with that. I know. Didn't need to see it. It's terrible. But so what does work? Okay, let's talk about what works. Stop eating all day. That works. All right, so let's talk about what does work. The first thing is not eating all day. Like, that truly does work. We don't need to eat from the time that we wake up until the time that we go to bed, because that time has been extended through technology and the access to food way further than it ever has been. It just has. Like the lights are on, the refrigerator keeps our food there. We can eat all day. There's no doubt about it. But we don't ever turn off that I've been eating all day hormone insulin response. And for our body being such this great homeostatic being, for every hormone, for every impulse, for every muscle, there's always one that turns it on and one that turns it off. One that does something and one that does the opposite. But if we're always eating, when do we do the opposite? For that little tiny window that we actually sleep? And with the internet and our phones, we're up forever. And the time that we have actually sleep and that we don't eat and we're kind of fasting is shrinking. So we're eating all day. And then we've been told you need to eat all day. No, you don't need to eat all day. Your blood sugar is not going to go anywhere. Your metabolism from eating all day, the thermogenic effect of food is so minimal. It's actually negative at the end of the day when you look at all the calories you've eaten. It's not a reason to eat all day. That is just simply wrong. So don't eat all day. Choose a window. I firmly believe that choosing a window of the day, 6 to 8 hours, that you eat your calories and then you're done. And then you let your body do the opposite of storage and anabolism and insulin and actually break down the fat and use the energy you've stored. I think that's positive. I think there's a lot of great reset to that. A little stress to the body is good. Don't need snacks. No, your blood sugar is fine. Unless you're diabetic, which is what the asterisk is for. Unless you're diabetic, you have poor insulin control, you don't have a blood sugar issue. I think as a human species, we probably would have died out if that was the case because food wasn't always plentiful. We can manage our blood sugar. We have access to that. So, that being headaches, hydration, not drinking enough water, not getting enough sodium for long extended fasts, that can be a little bit of an issue. So we do need to pay attention to that. But you don't need, quote unquote, need to snack if you don't have insulin, you're not trying to manage carbohydrate with your insulin units, or you don't have prediabetes with poor insulin control. And even if you do, if you work collaboratively with a dietitian who can talk to your care providers, you can work through this. You can establish a fasting pattern or an eating window. I don't really want to call it an eating window. Like, we just shouldn't have to have a name for not eating all day. It should just be not eating all day. And then move a lot. Move. Doesn't have to be triathlon. You don't have to lift weights. You don't have to ride a bike. You don't have to go swimming. You don't even know how to swim. You don't even have to like to run, but you know how to walk. You got to do stuff. If you have kids, take them for a walk. Get outside and move. Thanks for listening. The best thing you can do is refer a friend if you like what we do. I have other videos on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so you can watch them, get recommendations and alerts when I do new ones. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. I really like doing these content. Thank you for listening very much. Be safe, be smart, make informed decisions. Thanks.